Believe me, I could live without you, but I really don't want to. Believe me, I could love without you, but I really don't need to. 'Cause leaving is the hardest thing to do. But being left is harder, yes it's true. But you're coming back. How do I get back to you, to you, to you? How can I get back to you?
Yo, what's up guys? Here I come at you once again with a action figure review. And this time we shall be looking at a Beast Wars character from the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Kingdom line. Yeah, it's Blackarachnia, also known as Black Widow in Japan. But before I open her up, let's take a quick look at her packaging. And it's very nice packaging. I like the design of this. I felt that the design of the Siege and Earthrise was too similar, but you could tell right off the bat that this is a completely different color scheme than it was shown on the other one. The other one was a lot blue and red heavy. This one's a lot more kind of yellowish, kind of like this primal gold coloring. And it, as you guys saw in my previous review with the Cheetor, it's kind of consistent as well with that. There is a green on the color. Now I don't recall if, I don't think the Siege figures had this green, so I think this green is an allusion to the Beast Wars color scheme as well. Of course, the side is the same as it was on the Cheetor figure. The back, you see Blackarachnia fully posed and also in her beast mode. And 20 easy steps to transform. Well, we'll find out by the end of this video if that is the truth. I do like her posing here in the front, and you can actually make out her legs in the back. That's her there as well in her beast form. Now, one notable thing that I really do want to find out is the back, because in the back you see right there, let's see okay, you can make out Dinobot, who has been announced to come out in the line. You see Waspinator as well. Does this mean we're gonna get a Waspinator figure? I know we had one, we got one as part of the Generations line a few years back, but the big one for me is the fact that we might get a Scorponok, a Beast Wars Scorponok, and that's the first time we're gonna get him since his original figure way back in 1996. And that figure is pricey on the secondary market, and to be quite honest with you, I was never happy with his sculpt, so I'm hoping Voyager class, Mega class Scorponox, hopefully not Mega class, what's the class above it, the $50 class, I forget, but I mean, make them big, you know. I would appreciate them making Scorponox. Obviously the J-hook at the top, I do have a variant to her, and the J-hook is actually in color with the packaging, so I don't know if it just depends on the retailer that you bought the figure from. And I'm gonna open this one up because the figure looks fairly the same to me, so there's no real point to not open I don't know, I just like the one with the cardboard hook on it, so I'm gonna leave that one in packaging. Is that a plane? That might be Starscream or somebody, Cyclonus maybe, because I know Cyclonus is also part of the line. But I am collecting most of the Beast Wars figures from this line. I do want to get the Optimus Prime, not Primal. I want to get the Optimus Prime because he is pretty much he is the same mold pretty much as the Earthrise figure, and that Earthrise figure is amazing, and it's hard to find now. So I am hoping to get that Optimus Prime. I already have Optimus Primal. If you glance a bit to the left, you'll see that Optimus Primal is there, and he shall be reviewed much later on. But for now, we're gonna focus on the Black Widow herself, and that's it. Let's move on to the opening of this figure. Let us go. So this is the figure outside of the packaging, and she looks a bit more lengthier than I thought she would. There are her spider legs in the back, her thorax, I guess. That's what they call it. And here's her gun, her grappling hook blaster thing. But yeah, she is of course well proportioned. And actually there's a funny story behind that, because originally, and maybe this is why I picture her looking lengthier than usual, her original design, or her original action figure, was actually a redeco, a repaint of the 1996 Tarantulas. They just literally gave Tarantulas a different paint job and just said, like, okay, that's the female now, and that's it. And I think at the time that was the way they were going to introduce her in the TV show, because obviously this model is a lot more TV accurate than the original action figure was. But the point I'm getting to with this is the fact that originally they were just going to reintroduce her exactly how she looked like in the action figure. And they were going to be like, well, we're going to have two action figures that look two characters that look the same, except one's going to have a male voice and the other one's going to have a female voice. And they kind of vetoed that idea because they thought it would be a waste. So they had to come up with a new concept for her, a new design for her. And true story, the head writers took a lot of the CGI guys out to a strip club for inspiration. And truth be told, this is a rumor and innuendo, but this might be true. A stripper is actually the inspiration for the design of Blackarachnia, and yeah, I could see that. and so, you know, it's just they found a stripper, and one of the CGI guys just had the perfect idea, just a perfect kind of inspiration design for her. And they even said that when they introduced her, or there's a scene in her introduction episode, like when she was doing like these high kicks or whatever, when Megatron and Tarantulas were having a conversation. Supposedly that was taken exactly from the dance routine of the stripper, so take that as you will. That's the truth about the character, and hey, there's a card for me, so let's see. And we got Optimus Prime. Cool. Now I'm gonna cut her loose from these chains, and we're gonna look at the figure too. So stick around. It's hard to argue that out of all the characters in the Beast Wars series, Blackarachnia probably had the most character growth, because she literally went from being the femme fatale assistant to the mad scientist of the evil group to the strong-willed, determined character that helped turn the tides of the Beast Wars when she switched sides and aided the Maximus against Megatron's plan of destroying the Autobot Ark and creating this time paradox. Now, her reasoning for doing that is because of the fact that she understood that despite being a Predacon at the time, she was a Maximal protoform that just got reformatted into a Predacon. So she was supposedly just saving her hide. That was her reasoning at the time. But there's some that believe that there was always a good in her, and we'll get onto that later on. But yeah, her character evolved a lot. I know she had certain characters, certain episodes devoted to her character and how she was always betraying everyone, including the guy, or the robot, I should say, that created her, Tarantulas. Now, I don't have the original Tarantulas body, but I think this is a much more definitive version of Tarantulas and Blackarachnia's relationship, because this Tarantulas was actually the one that actually had a mind spell on her. Due to the whole transmetal energy wave, they kind of mind meld for a while, and he would be inside her head, inside her thoughts, and controlling her. And yeah, this guy was completely evil. He was so evil. He didn't even he even had plans of his own to like pretty much dispose of Megatron. And yeah, Megatron, the Dino Megatron, not the OG Megatron. I need to stress that because, of course, Dinosaur Megatron's whole plan was to go back in time and destroy the Autobots. And if it wasn't for Blackarachnia divulging that info, and also storing the golden discs, all that information, who's to say that the Beast Wars might not have ended up differently? But yeah, pretty much for a while she was just a lackey to Tarantulas until she had a brief encounter with another character. I think at the time they were both lost and without any communications, and they had to ally together because there was this other protoform called Protoform X, which was later known as Rampage, that was pretty much out to get them and destroy them. And that one character right there is, of course, Silverbolt. And man, I don't know, like, a lot of people would say Silverbolt is a bland character, but he's actually one of my favorite characters. I think he is possibly my favorite Maximal. Yeah, I think he might be my favorite Maximal just because he has that. He is literally the knight in shining armor. He is that chivalrous kind of character. I mean, he was duped near the beginning because he was a Predacon, which is funny. It's funny because he was a Predacon for like a day, and he used that as a way to like convince her to like switch sides and it was a long time coming. This wasn't like, oh, this happened in this episode and she became good the next episode. No, it was like this was a season long like story arc in which Silverbolt tried to convince her that there was some good in her, that she was still a Maximal deep down, that even he was a Predacon for one day and he wound up being a Maximal, and that she could do the same. And he always saw the good in her. And I felt that was good storytelling. That was a good character arc. He would blindly and he would get flack. He would get a lot of flack from his colleagues. And but I think he stuck to his guns, and it paid off because I don't think without Silverbolt trying to show that there is some good in Blackarachnia, that Blackarachnia would ever switch sides and help protect the Ark from Megatron's attack, and and henceforth, win the Beast Wars. And kudos to Silverbolt on that. And it's kind of odd that her character was really, 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 really butchered, for lack of a sense. But then again, a lot of characters were butchered. I know for a fact the follow-up series Beast Machines, I really don't like talking about that series. I would rather have Beast Wars 2, the Japanese anime, be a sequel to Beast Wars rather than Beast Machines, because Beast Machines just really killed a lot of what made her character unique. Because even after she turned good, she still had an edge to her. She still had a bit of that femme fatale energy to her once she became a Transmetal 2 as well. And Beast Machines kind of undid all that, to be honest with you. And a lot of people would say, like, well, that's the whole point of the story. It's because in Beast Machines they had crash landed on Cybertron again, and Megatron had already taken over the planet, and they were infected with this virus that kind of deleted some of their memories and some of their personalities. But it's like, if that were the case, then Optimus Primal wouldn't think he's still the leader, but his personality remained the same for the most part, And the one that really drastically changed was Blackarachnia, because she went from like this kind of like, I don't need you, you need me type of written character to okay, well, spoiler alert for Beast Machines, Silverbolt ended up getting abducted and converted into a bad guy, into a Viacon, they called him. And Blackarachnia was just trying to get him to change. And you're saying like, well, it's good, it's like a mirror version of what was going on, but no, the way she went about it was totally against her character. She was pining, begging, trying to convince Silverbolt to change. And to be honest, I think that's the reason why I don't like the series. It's because they ruined two characters. They ruined her character, her dark action girl type of character, and they ruined his character because he was never that chivalrous knight character again. He was a fucking jackass. Don't mind if you don't mind my language. He was a jackass, and he never changed. Even after he was saved and he got converted back into his original body, he still was kind of like this moody, kind of like had an edge to him. And obviously maybe it's all due to his experience being a Viacon, but it's like we never got back that knight in shining armor type of character again, which sucked, because I think it paid off well, the original storyline of him convincing her to switch sides and become good. But yeah, and that's just the way it happened. To me, Beast Machines is not canon, and it shouldn't be canon. And there's still a sequel to be made, because Beast Wars 2 really isn't a sequel, because it's different characters, different setting. But yeah, we have yet to have gotten a conclusion to Beast Wars, in my opinion, just due to the fact of how they butchered the characters. Don't get me started on what they did to Rhinox, aka Tankor. So yeah, but yeah, let's take a look at her posing. She seems to have good hinges, good. So she has one jointed. So her ankle goes up and down. It actually only goes up. It doesn't even go down that much. Her knee bends, and despite it being only one joint, it actually bends pretty well. And this was a surprise to me. This actually bends as well. Her kneecap. So that's pretty cool. She could do the splits. Does she have? She does. Yeah, she does have a waist. A thigh swivel. She does have a thigh swivel. Does she have a waist swivel? She does not have a waist swivel, due to the fact that I guess this big backpack in the back of hers prevents that from happening. But she does have a ball joint on her shoulder, and it rotates and it goes around and it hinges up and down and it turns side to side. She also has a swivel right here on her bicep, and on her elbow. Her elbow does go up at a 90-degree angle, but it's pretty good. And of course, her legs actually do have separate articulation, which I do like. And her backpack does move around, but I think it's more for the basis of her transformation. And does her head turn up and down? Her head, yeah, it actually looks up pretty well, and down not as well. It doesn't look down that much, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with the figure. I am gonna make a comparison, because I actually do have the masterpiece version, which actually I've never opened. I've opened to look inside the contents, but I've never actually transformed. And I know for a fact inside that it's a spider form, but and who knows, I might review that figure later on as well. But it's I don't know, I'm pretty happy, I'm pretty content with this Blackarachnia figure. The sculpt, I'm not gonna lie, the sculpt on it is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's way better than what it was, or what it could have been. We would have never been able to get this figure 25 years ago. So it's kind of cool that we finally do have it, and it's amazing looking. And yeah, I'm pretty happy, especially for the price point. This is the best Blackarachnia that's not the masterpiece I am certain of. And I do like the little sculpting, the painting details, the Predacon insignia right there, just like her character had it. And even the gold markings, because technically she's supposed to be this colored gold everywhere, and this gold part is actually supposed to be darker. But I appreciate the fact that they kept that design thing. I think it would have just been more costly to have the gold, the actual that metal gold paint. And yeah, but I am happy with the figure. I am happy with what we got, and that's pretty much it. I guess it's just time for the transformation sequence, and yeah, I'll show you guys the transformation sequence step by step, and we shall go to that right now. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys how to transform her into her beast mode. So first we're going to remove this gun, but guess what? This gun is actually going to be like a component in her beast mode, surprisingly. Very rare to see that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull her back up and get this little hinge out, this little tab out of her. Then we're going to pop this head from her waist, and we're slowly going to start rotating this head inward. We're even going to have it face down, and then we're going to close both her shoulders together so that they actually meet up at the center, like so. And then you're going to want to, and this is very important, you're going to actually want to twist her arms in a way that these tabs are shown, because these tabs are very important. So leave those like that for now, and you're gonna pull this back and rotate it and seal it in, and that's gonna be like the front of her. As for her legs are complicated to say the least, because you're just gonna literally pretzel and force her legs onto the body like that. Literally, it's pretzeling her legs and forcing them onto the thorax, I guess you could say, and have them take shape like so. And then finally, you'll be able to push her arms down as so. Now have these things kind of like connect with like her heels. That way you know it's good placement when you have these arms like kind of hitting her heels like so. 1 and 2. So there you go, that's good placement. And then you could actually start spreading her legs out like that for her lower body. Okay, perfect. So there, her beast form is almost taking shape. I'd say it's just a little bit of terraforming, I guess you could say, or body forming. There you go. So remember I told you about those tabs, right? So here's the thing. Right here, these yellow things, they're gonna fit inside those black tabs in order to actually hold up her gun. And without it, her gun would not hold. So I'm gonna be doing that right now. There you go. And that's it. See, and that's gonna form like the bottom of her body, and it has like a secret missile. And actually in the show, she would actually spin her webs for like this grappling hook, and she would shoot it up, and she would start hanging from this grappling hook like that, as so. But yeah, her beast form is actually pretty good. I would say it's pretty good. And yes, it could stand on its own. It could stand on its legs, and it does look very spider-ish, I would say. It does look very spider-ish. Yeah. We shall transform her back, and to simply transform her back, remove the gun. Obviously, you twist her legs back into position, back into a more normal position. Once again, you stretch her arms out, and then you tab them around again. Then you get her body, twist her head. Of course, you connect this at the bottom. Boom. Boom. and you just simply twist these arms again, and there you go. That's her back in her robot form. Yeah. One minor detail about her beast form is that her breastplate must be underneath this part like that. So yeah, the breastplate was sticking out. I mean, it's kind of hard to stuff them in there. But yeah, her breastplate was sticking out in the previous transformation videos I showed you, but now I corrected that. So yes, her breastplate goes down. Not gonna lie, despite having the tabs to like lock into place, this is very sensitive. This falls apart real easily. But yeah, I'm not gonna go too much into detail, but I do want to make a comparison, at least in the beast forms, between this Blackarachnia and the Masterpiece version. And yeah, I mean, it's the Masterpiece version just totally supersedes it in every size. But looking at the sculpting, I want to say it's a very similar sculpt, just due to the fact that her legs are also bent the same way. So maybe I want to say, except her legs are actually bent more outward. See, as you can see, it's a similar sculpt, but I guess the transformation sequence is a bit different, because I think this one is a bit more complicated, and you could see that her legs are actually bending outward rather than inward. Like this one, her legs are actually bent inward, and on this one, her legs are bent outward. You can see like her kneecaps right there. And of course, the Masterpiece version came with accessories, multiple heads. You can see that that's one reaction right there, and that's a green eye reaction. That's when she would talk through a possessed tarantulas. That's when tarantulas would possess her mind. Her eyes would turn green like that. And of course, she came with more components for her grappling hook, and she even came with like the Energon web, that she would use to trap her enemies. So the Masterpiece version, I want to say, is still a bit better. Just looking at it, I'll open it one day, but I don't want to open it right now. And I don't want to give you guys two reviews in one, especially since I'm reviewing the War for Cybertron Trilogy Kingdom line. But yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say. So remember, the breastplate actually goes inside there, and that's how it goes. And yeah, her beast form is okay, but definitely I don't think I'm gonna ever really transform her in her beast form. You know what I mean? It's like, the reason I got her is to get a really affordable sculpt of her TV show, her TV show likeness. It's like, could have gone out and grabbed like the original OG, Blackarachnia figure, but it looks nothing like her. And quite frankly, this character is easy on the eyes. She is easily one of the most popular characters. I think she's probably second after like Dinobot. Dinobot is definitely like the most popular character of Beast Wars, and she's probably a close second, either her or Primal, Cheetor. I mean, they're all really great, well-written characters, except Pterosaur. But yeah, because Pterosaur is just a Starscream copy. But yeah, great figure. I don't regret getting her, and you guys should get her right now that she's available, because this sculpt is amazing for the price. It's not a masterpiece by any means, but it's amazing for the price point, and this is a miracle in Transformers. Look at the backpack. Look at the figure, the slimness of the figure compared to the bulkiness of the actual beast mode. It's like I said, this figure could not have been made 25 years ago. I don't even think this figure could have been made 15 years ago, to be quite honest with you. And to see it finally be done real effectively is, yeah, it's just a miracle in design and toy design. And I can't wait to see more Beast figures be made. Actually, I know they unveiled
air razor, but I don't really like the size of that razor. That air razor, yet I don't have any air razors besides the Transmetal version, so I gotta get the OG air razor. Even though I really don't like her size, I think she's a bit too on the small side, especially when comparing her to Blackarachnia. Air razor's probably gonna be dwarf like that. Air razor's gonna probably be like this big, and Blackarachnia is gonna be like, well, that big. And but especially Dinobot is also announced, and I've already pre-ordered the Dinobot, but I am especially looking forward for Scorponok. So Hasbro, they better announce the Scorponok for the Kingdom Wave. You know, we've been waiting for this character. I don't want to go on eBay and get Scorponok that I won't be happy with. One that's probably going to be missing the Cyber Bee and the missiles, or one or the other, and the sculpt was never that good, to be honest with you. Especially by seeing this Blackarachnia. Seeing this Blackarachnia is like, no, I'll wait for whatever Scorponok design they introduce, because I'm pretty sure once they do it, they're gonna knock it out of the park. Other than that, it's like I'm grateful for the Kingdom Wave. It really helped me fill out my ranks on characters that I don't have. I didn't have a classic Optimus Prime. I didn't have a classic Cheetor. I didn't have this Blackarachnia. When they announced her, I had barely bought the Masterpiece, so I don't have a Dinobot. Can you guys believe that? I don't have a Dinobot. I have a Grimlock, but I don't have a Dinobot. So out of all the characters, after the ones that I've already pre-ordered, the only characters I'm gonna need to have like the core group of everyone, and I mean everyone, because I already have Cybertron, I already have Rampage, I already have Death Charge, I already have Rhinox. Only two characters I'm gonna need after that are Pterosaur and Scorponok, and that's it. And I have the whole cast. So let's get at it, Hasbro. Let's get at it. Other than that, thank you guys for watching this action figure review. I'll be sure to review more action figures, more Transmetal, more Transformers, more Transmetals, I guess. When I find the oh wait, like this guy, I could possibly review this guy soon. More Transformers, more Beast Wars, more Fusors, more car robots, more alternators. The Mamalona Prime is still back there waiting to be reviewed. Of course, more action figures, more Marvel Legends, more just random figures. And I think that's probably going to be my next video. It's just going to be a surprise random figure, and you guys will just have to wait and find out what it is. Till next time, peace and love. I'll see you guys later, and I am out.